Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I am a third year first grade teacher, and I'm so glad you're joining me for today's video. If you're not new here, thanks so much for tuning back in. Today I'm going to be filming a pandemic teaching tag video. I saw a lot of these going around in the fall before I started my channel, and the specific one that I'm doing today was created by Michelle at Pocketful of Primary. So how the tag video works is she gave a list of 10 different questions about teaching in the pandemic and how it's going for us. So I'm just going to answer those 10 questions today, and I'll tag some of the other teaching tag videos that I've seen below in the description if you want to go see some responses from other teacher YouTubers. All right, let's get started with question number one. Question number one says, are you teaching in person, hybrid, or virtually, and explain how it works. So my district has had a virtual option from the beginning, but I have been teaching in person, face-to-face since August. So parents were given the choice to do virtual schooling at home, and specific teachers were selected in our district to teach those virtual students, and I was not one of them. However, I have been helping write some of the virtual content and taking our curriculum and turning it into something that can be put on Google Classroom for those virtual students. So that's something extra I've been doing this year, but I have been teaching a group of students in person since August. As far as things in the classroom that we've been doing differently, we wear masks every day, wear face shields sometimes. We keep within our classroom bubbles so our classes don't really interact with any other classes during the day. So we just kind of stick together. It's like our little class pod. And yeah, so that's about how it's going. Question number two says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing? I would put myself at like a solid 6. Which is pretty great considering the pandemic teaching. My class is super sweet. It's been really nice getting to see kids face-to-face in person and kind of maintain some normalcy. It has been extra busy, and it has been a very trying year as far as teaching academics and accommodating for COVID stuff, but as far as like the year in general, it's going pretty well. Question number 3 says, what is one positive thing about your teaching format? So the one positive thing for me is we are in person, and it's just so nice to be in person with those kids, be able to give them what they need. And because some students that were not comfortable returning it chose virtual, in the fall, we had really small class sizes, which was really nice because I was able to tailor my instruction really to what my kiddos needed, because I only had about 12, 13 kids in my class. And that was just so fantastic and really gave me an opportunity to pour into those kids and just, hit the ground running to catch up for all of the school that was missed in the spring. Question number 4, I really love, keeping that positivity. What is one thing you are rocking while teaching during a pandemic? I have been working on writing our curriculum virtually since July. So right now I'm in charge of math, and I'm taking all of our little math curriculum and changing it to something that the virtual students can use. And although I don't use all of that in my classroom on a day-to-day basis, I have really gotten to know the curriculum better by turning it into something digital, and then I've been able to take pieces of what I've been working on and incorporate it in my classroom for my students. And so I feel like doing that and teaching in person at the same time has greatly increased my curriculum knowledge and has really helped me be a better teacher this semester. Question number 5 says, what is one challenge you faced and how have you overcome it? So mask wearing is obviously a challenge. It is so hard to hear my kids. We're in first grade, so they're already kind of quiet, and then it's all just muffled and you can't hear what anybody's saying, and please tell me I'm not the only one who struggles with this. But mask wearing aside, the most frustrating thing for me during this pandemic teaching has been seating arrangements. I love to put my kids' desks in table groups, and because of COVID this year, we can't do that because they don't want students sitting face to face right across from each other. So I have played around with rows, I've played around with having them spread out, and I just do not like it. I would teach in a mask and wear a mask all year next year if it meant that I could put my tables back in groups. I just miss my table groups so much. When their desks are all spread out or they're in rows, I feel like my students wiggle more and their desks move from place to place and kind of travel, and they can't talk to each other and collaborate. Passing out supplies is a nightmare because they're all over the place. So there are just so many reasons why I just miss table groups. Oh, I'm hoping next year we can bring them back. Now, the second part was how have I overcome the struggle? I just have to deal with it. Like, I just have to recognize and understand that the table groups aren't coming back this year and just get over it. And that sounds really harsh, but I just had to get over it. Here's my current seating arrangement, and it's probably the one that I like the most so far, so I'll show you what it looks like and kind of how I adjusted it. I kind of have them in two giant horseshoes, so nobody's looking directly at another student, but they're all facing the middle, which has been nice, so they can all see the board from where they're seated, and there's still distance between each student. So it's not perfect, and the students still wiggle and move, and their desks slide around, which drives me nuts, and it doesn't happen when they're in groups because they're kind of locked in, but it's better than some of the other arrangements that I've tried, so it's kind of how I've just been making it work. Question number 6 is, what is one thing that has made teaching easier for you during a pandemic? And this one is so easy. The answer would have to be my coworkers. We have really bonded together during the struggle, you know, not just sitting around and complaining, but sharing resources, sharing ideas, asking each other questions. How are you setting up your desks? How are you doing center rotations so kids use their own supplies and all of those things? So it's been really great to collaborate with my team and get to share ideas, and just remember that, like, I'm not the only one sitting here teaching during a pandemic. We have a whole school full of teachers who are in the same boat, and we're all just gonna make it work. Another thing that has made teaching easier for me during this pandemic has definitely been my teacher Instagram page. I hadn't been as active on it my first 2 years teaching. I was kind of on and off, but this year I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna commit to posting some more, being a little more present on it, and that's really helped me stay positive about my job in general, because I feel like it's so easy to think, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming, and I don't like this, and my day was terrible, but it's really challenged me to find some positive nuggets from my week to share with y'all. And I definitely don't try to sugarcoat it or make everything look like it's perfect, so I hope that's not what y'all think, but it does help me to get on and see other people's ideas, to feel like I'm not alone in teaching in a pandemic, even when it is like, hey, I really struggled today. Like, I feel like there are other people who get me, you know? So you should follow my teacher Instagram, and if you have one, please drop it below, because I want to follow you too, because I just love getting ideas from other teachers. Question number 7 is, what is one change you have made that you will continue when the pandemic ends? One change that I will definitely continue is I finally bit the bullet and bought the wireless doorbell this year, and it has been a game changer. I usually did call-in responses with my students, but I knew this year wearing a mask, I just wasn't going to have the energy or the voice level to do that constantly through the day. So the doorbell has been a lifesaver, and I actually love it way more than call-in response. It's so nonchalant. I can just push the button. It's really casual. It's really quick and easy, and my students really love it too. Another change I made was with the way that I did my math supplies. Our math curriculum uses a ton of games, so I made these math binders back at the very beginning, way back in July and August, to give each child their own individual board for their games. And then I also made these little math kits with plastic containers from the Dollar Tree that have all of their manipulatives inside. So it has their game cards, their dice, their cubes, their counters, and we've been adding to the kit as the year has progressed. I love that they have all these supplies independently at their desk, because it has saved so much time in math where we don't have to pass out a game board or pass out cards every time, and the students just have their own. Sometimes it is a little bit of a mess to manage, and they have things everywhere. So in the future, if supplies don't have to be completely individualized, I may do this with some of our math supplies and then save some supplies for other games that are a little more involved, and still do those and pass those out so they don't have them constantly at their desk. Question 8 is, what has been your favorite purchase during the pandemic for classroom? I already shared this, definitely the doorbell. That's my favorite purchase for my classroom. Personal purchase would probably be I got some really cute booties that are snake print that go with so many of my outfits. It's the little things, y'all. Another thing is I got an Apple Watch this year, and I actually didn't purchase this. My husband got it for me for my birthday, but I've really loved having that and getting to use that for timers and checking the time and all kinds of things in my classroom. And then the last one that's a personal thing is I got a knee brace because back in the spring I injured my knee while I was running and doing exercises, and so I got a knee brace so I can continue to do my exercises and I don't have any more knee pain. Woohoo! So that's just kind of random, but it has been a favorite purchase of mine. Question 9 says, how have you been taking care of yourself during this time? One of my answers would definitely have to be exercise. I am not a coach, I am not sponsored by any means, but I do use the Beachbody programs online at home for my workouts, and I really do enjoy them. If you have any questions about that, I'm actually gonna link a video from Miss Call's Campers down below because she filmed a video explaining how she uses Beachbody workouts and how she kind of skips out on the multi-level marketing stuff and the shakes and all of that and just uses the workout programs in a way that fits her. And when I watched that video, I was like, yeah, that's me. That's how I do Beachbody. So I'm just gonna tag her video down below so you can see what that looks like if you're interested in trying out some of the workouts yourself. Another way I've been taking care of myself is making sure that I leave work at work and I kind of get to enjoy my evenings a little bit more. I've been really intentional about going to hang out with friends or spending time with my husband in the evening and just having things to look forward to during the week. And then number 10 is what's making you happy during this time. So for me, the ability to leave work on time this year has been huge, which is crazy to say during a pandemic, but this is my 3rd year teaching. So because I have more experience, I've been able to leave at 3:30 on the dot more often, and that has definitely made me happier and given me more time to focus on myself and my friends and my family. And then lastly would probably be making these videos. I started making these in about November, and I love to edit videos. That's just been one of my hobbies since I was in middle school and high school. My brother and sister and I would just make videos until we were tired of it. I've got music videos from when I was younger, news recordings, you name it, we made a video about it. So this has been really fun to help me get back into video editing a little bit, and it's just a super great relaxer for me to sit and do something that I really enjoy. It's such a fun little hobby, and it lets me share a little bit about my teaching at the same time with you guys, which I love. That is all the questions for the Pandemic Teaching Tag video today. I'm gonna post all the questions in the description box below, so if you want to do this Pandemic Teaching Tag, I know I'm a little late to the game, but if you still want to film a teaching tag video, you can do that and just copy the questions below and answer them yourself. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you liked this video, make sure you click thumbs up and then subscribe so you can see more videos I post every week on my channel, and I love having you guys follow along. And lastly, I just want you guys to know that teachers are awesome. You are doing an incredible job no matter what your pandemic teaching format looks like. You're doing what's best for your students, and you're just doing fantastic. So be encouraged. Know that you're not in the boat alone. Everybody's out here pandemic teaching, and it'll pass. We don't know when, but it's gonna pass, and it'll be great when it does. So till next time, I'll see y'all later.